Welcome to humanity. This is our one.
Whatever it takes, we got to say whatever it takes is what it took.
This is Brock Lesnar, and you're listening to Fight Net Radio.
Hi, this is Sugar Ray Leonard, and you listen to Fight Net Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to listen to Fight Net Radio.
Lee Harvey Oswald, what's your name? I know how am I supposed to know you?
This is Frank Shamrock. We're listening to Fight Net Radio.
Hi, this is Nia, the Knockout St. John. You're listening to Fight Net Radio, and there's no way I would ever touch Lee.
This is Chuck Jackson.
I am Stephen Bonner, and you're listening to Fight Net Radio.
Dan Henderson, you're listening to Fight Net Radio.
Everybody, welcome to Fight Net Radio, where Lee's burning every bridge there is out there. All right.
Hi, this is Manny Pacquiao. I'll fight anybody on FightNetRadio.com.
Hey, I'm the king of the world! Hold it, you're not that crazy. I'm a bad man! I took up the world!
Hi, welcome to Fight Net Radio, where the first words I said today were, wow, that's a big list Andrew wants to go through. On what I thought was a fairly non-boxing weekend, I'm joined by Andrew Lapache, writer, pound for pound, Premier round. How are you today, Andrew?
We're doing great over here, Lee. Still celebrating the victory of the Oakland Raiders this past Friday.
Okay, so we can cut it down. Let's cut it down to 6 minutes of erroneous talk. So I'm guessing we're in the middle of McLaughlin mania again in the preseason.
Matt McGloin.
Yes. Sorry, McGloin. Yeah, third straight year of we want Matt McGloin mania in the preseason. So this is his third crazy preseason of everybody wants McGloin.
Definitely the McGloin fans out there did have something to scream about. Me, myself, Lee, I am not a Matt McGloin fan. I like Carr. I want to stick with Carr as the number one quarterback. But nice to see that we got a little bit of a good quarterback as a backup. You know what I mean? He can throw the ball around. He just can't throw it as good as Carr. We'll see how that plays. I'm thinking he's going to be traded here probably in the near future because what I hear, Lee, is he's a little outspoken when it comes to the locker room about where he thinks he should be on the roster.
Well, welcome to this year's Raiders. The only thing that'll kill that team are the fact that you have too many superstars.
True.
Should be interesting. I'll give some Ram news. I know none of you care because you just want boxing. I don't really know why anybody listens to this show, and I don't mean to offend anybody who listens to this show. I've never understood it, but the Rams did 87. It was something like 88,000 people at the Coliseum this weekend.
Right.
That's crazy. I really didn't think that would happen. I thought it might be 50 or 60 for a preseason, but wow.
They had a great opponent, the Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas helps.
Yeah, they'll sell tickets wherever they go. So it's going to be interesting what the Rams look like when the opposing team isn't someone like the Dallas Cowboys. But yes, that was an awesome number. Real fast, good news for me and you, bad news for Broncos fans. They lose their defensive end today. Walker tore his ACL. So that's sucks for Denver.
Well, that's just one less team to deal with.
They could look at their trophy case, I guess, but still.
And I guess in Olympic news, I'll close out with this story. I just posted it on Facebook and Twitter. Michael Phelps, having won whatever it is, 28 gold medals, will be officially returned to his tank at SeaWorld. Yes, this story just broke. Orlando, Florida, 14-time Olympic gold medalist and SeaWorld main attraction Michael Phelps returned to his 7 million gallon tank on Wednesday to resume his normal life. This was all reported by The Onion. Feel free to Google the story.
He is a beast. He definitely...
I can't believe that somebody wrote an article this long about how Michael was born in captivity, how he performs at SeaWorld. And then the story goes on so long that they even talk about activists. It's clear that Michael doesn't like being at SeaWorld, spokesman said. When he was placed into his tank, the slightly loose portion of his black swim cap immediately folded over to the right side. Wow.
They broke him. They broke him.
They broke him, right. Oh, well, I digress. I thought that story was funny. All right, and there's your 4 minutes and 56 seconds of erroneous horse crap brought to you by nobody. Let's talk about weekend's recaps.
I don't know if the recaps are going to get any better, Lee.
I don't know if they are either, because I followed all this and watched all this. God bless social media. You don't have to even go to a TV anymore. First, Roy Jones Jr. wins. Yes, it was a meaningless fight, but I would say this, Andrew. Roy Jones Jr. wins in another meaningless lopsided fight. I think that's a little rough. Returning home for the first time since March 2015, former world champion Roy Jones, 64-9 with 46 KO, scored a one-sided 10-round unanimous decision over Rockin' Rodney Moore, 17-12-2, in a cruiserweight bout on Saturday night in Pensacola Bay in Pensacola, Florida. It was a mostly slow-paced affair for the 47-year-old Hall of Famer, with his hands held low, stalked Moore, who gave very little resistance. As a result, it is very easy for Jones to potshot his way to a victory. It was 100-90 on all three scorecards. All right, here's the thing. I don't have a problem with this.
He can still go 10 rounds?
No, here's the thing. Well, second story. Jones suffers injury.
Yep.
Tears his fight, right? So during the fight, he suffered an injury to his right bicep in round 5 of Saturday night against journeyman Rodney Moore. We'll just see how long it takes to heal, Jones said. It was the best condition I've been in a long time. I felt strong the whole time. As for the future of the ring, Jones stated, may have been the last one, and I'm not mad if it is, because I had a great time. Everybody in Pensacola got to see Roy Jones fight one more time.
Hey, there you go. Well, that's a good ending. And you know what, Lee? I hope the injury does sideline him for good. We don't.
I think he can make it to 100.
We don't need to see Roy Jones in the ring anymore.
If he fights once every couple of weeks, he can get to 50 before 50. I think it's a marvelous goal.
I think it's over. I think Roy Jones knows that it's very hard to come back from a torn bicep in this sport. At his age, how long he'll be sidelined, might not see him again, which is a good thing, Lee. He does not belong in the ring. It's funny that you called that a cruiserweight fight. It looked like they were both heavyweights that night, so I'm guessing the weight limit was just come under 218, because those are not cruiserweights. His opponent was very heavy, and Roy didn't look in shape at all himself. It's always sad when Roy Jones is in the ring. What makes this one, all right, is the fact that he won. He went 10 rounds, didn't get knocked out, was able to stand on his feet. But no, it's nothing to watch. There's no enjoyment watching Roy Jones fight anymore.
I disagree.
I know you would, Lee. I know you would.
The possibilities of watching Roy Jones Jr. die at the hands of a journeyman are kind of entertaining.
He's never been that, I don't know, to me, he's never been that guy that I wanted to see laid out like that. We've seen Roy Jones knocked out plenty of times. We know that this is the Roy that's in the ring now is nowhere near what he used to be. So it's over. In my eyes, it's over for him. Sort of like Bernard. Watching Bernard in the Kovalev fight was very hard. Never wanted to see Bernard beat like that, even though, Lee, we sort of had to. We had to see that happen because Bernard wasn't going to get out of the ring until it did. And hopefully Kovalev has convinced him to back out.
Doubtful. He'll be back.
Yeah.
They're always back.
He's like 52, man.
Antonio Margarito, speaking of 52, Antonio Margarito, one step closer to losing his eye for good. Former world champion, that's well written. Former world champion Antonio Tijuana Tornado Margarito, 40-8, 27 KOs, scored a 10-round split decision over Ramon Innocente. Alvarez. I think you bring joy to this moment. To claim the WBO Continental Super Welterweight title on Saturday night in Baja, California at the Playa del Barfo Center, where many people were drunk and sitting on blocks of ice. After a slow start, Margarito, pressured at the dog track, started paying dividends. Alvarez punches had little effect. Margarito walked him down. Alvarez was down round 8, but rallied bravely in the final rounds. Scores were 97-92, 97-92, and 95-94, all for Alvarez.
Margarito.
No?
Alvarez was coming on strong, I'll tell you that. Margarito's eyes started failing him, Lee. He doesn't have the. He doesn't have.
Here's the sad part. This was Canelo Alvarez's brother.
Yes, it was.
And clearly he sucks, and clearly he's fighting at a dog track. But when you lose to Margarito, like, you should quit boxing. Like, that's pretty low on the food chain.
Especially the Margarito without the plaster and with one eye. You got to win that fight, Alvarez. You got to win that fight.
Something has to happen.
Look, at one person I would not mind seeing on his face is Antonio Margarito. So I enjoyed that fight. Margarito took a lot of punches. He's basically the same guy. He just doesn't have the cement and the gloves anymore. Throws a lot of punches, takes a lot of punches. Lack of defense is always there. Yeah, he's the same fighter. I don't know if this win is going to get him Canelo. Canelo was ringside. Obviously, Margarito called him out immediately after the fight. I just don't know if he did a good enough performance. Look, this is Margarito's second comeback win now. He has one over Jorge Paez, where he was actually dropped and hurt many times. Did not look good in that fight. And then
Moramero?
Yes, and then in this fight with
the old man Paez.
No, this son.
This the son
Junior,
of,
yes.
Yeah.
And then you come to this past Saturday, he fought Alvarez, obviously is known because of his younger brother, and Margarito didn't look that good at all. So don't know if Alvarez is going to actually give him this fight. I think everyone involved was hoping Margarito would have stopped Saul's brother to make it a little bit more interesting for Saul to get revenge. Like I said, on this fight, Lee, what I seen was Margarito started very strong. He looked good, but started fading, in my opinion, late. Even that 8th round knockout, that was BS. That knockdown was a slip. Yes, Margarito landed a punch, but you clearly seen that it was Alvarez's feet that got caught up underneath him that made him go down. So it wasn't a legit knockdown. It wasn't a power knockdown. Margarito was nowhere near ending that fight. Just not a good performance at all. There was a lot of people there. Either they were giving away tickets or Margarito can still sell one, but what showed off the TV is that there was a lot of people still interested in the Antonio Margarito.
That takes us to news of the week. I have nothing clever to say about either of these guys. I mean,
No,
they're
it was
not
a
going to
very-
get real fights.
Very sad. Yeah,
and that's
very
all
sad.
we had going this weekend, although it would have made a nice double bill. For those of you who've never listened to the show before, for some reason you're listening to it, the format of the show is simple. I read what Andrew tells me to read. It occasionally makes me sound smart or stupid, like it did in the previous segment. Andrew will say something very writer/fan-based, because he believes that we're here to help the sport. And then it's my job to tear it apart and explain to you exactly why boxing sucks. This sounds like the format of almost every podcast I produce.
Yes.
My job is to be the negative side of whatever I'm talking about. Am I ever positive about anything?
You're just upset with where the sport's at right now, Lee.
I'm very disappointed.
Yeah. No, and we're going to have proof of that coming up in news.
Coming up, well, let's get right to it. News of the week brought to you by Nobody. When you're shopping and you want nothing, get Nobody. Use offer code 0 and save. Thanks for supporting our sponsors. I really appreciate that. It's now news of the week, and I would have done Andrew's orders, but I think he's still missing the biggest story. You didn't even put it on the list. Wow, it didn't even make the list.